Alright, what is up, my chair lovers and seat enthusiasts? This is Dragon Butts Park Reviews, chair reviews rather, back here again today with another, probably a set of park clearing reviews. Now, I figured this would be a great place to start off. You got a nice view of a lot of the park. It's a nice breezy area up at the top of kind of a hill here, where you get a nice overlook of everything. Now, it's a good spot to rest after you come up here on a bike because it's a nice, as I said, breezy area, and it's like right at the end of the climb. Now, I really like this spot. As you can see, there are some train tracks going under it. I'm not sure if those are in use. I've never actually seen a train come through here, but I think they add a nice little bit of character to the hill here. Now, as you can tell, this is a pretty busy park. Probably tell by the music and the screaming going on. But up here, there aren't quite as many people, rather, because most of the park is that direction. Most of the park that people would go to like hang out or have parties. There were probably 200-300 people total around those, the pavilion and the beach as I came in. So quite a few, but not too many people in this direction. One second. Alright, I'm sorry about that. As I was saying that there aren't too many people in this direction, someone came by. Now, of course, just because there's one doesn't mean there aren't that many, and just because there aren't that many doesn't mean there can't be one. Or a few. There's still some people who go by here. There are houses down that way. There's a high school at the end of this trail that goes this way, so it of course will attract some people, but not quite as many as the pavilions and all that. So, as I was saying, I really like this spot. You can get a good view of everything, you can hear the birds very well from here. I can hear some sort of bug going, maybe cicadas or something of the sort. You can get a mixture of nature and people, and whatever that building is, I believe it might be some... I don't know, I'm not even going to try to guess. Now, to give a brief overview of the park, I generally enter from that direction. There's a nice place where you can come in and go down a nice long hill, get in, and then there's a little bit of a beach there, but not too many people in that area. Then you progress through the park, eventually come to a beach. That beach generally has the most people. Often, I believe it's just groups of various people gathered there to hang out on the beach. Then you go a little bit farther and you get to a pavilion, and that pavilion's pretty close to here, a little bit beyond those trees right there. That pavilion tends to be host to many parties. Pretty much every time I come here on a weekend, there's some sort of party going on, as you can probably hear right now. Now, there's some tennis court areas over there, tennis nets, volleyball nets, whatever they may be. Those tend to be used pretty often. Right now they're in use. Someone's listening to some other music there, too. Now, once you get up to this bridge, you can either go that way, which leads to some houses, like a little neighborhood area, or this way, which eventually leads to the high school. And I believe there are some more houses down there. The high school is in a residential area, so there would have to be. And I generally don't go down to the little neighborhood area too often, just because it's not all that interesting, and it's a shorter distance, so it's not really ideal. Plus, there are a few more spots that I'll be showing you down this way that I like quite a bit. So I like to go to those pretty much anytime I'm here because they're nice little areas. So, to give a more detailed overview of this specific spot, you can see the bridge is constructed out of some nice, although rusty, still probably pretty sturdy metal beams. They go up to form the overall structure, and then the bridge, the part you walk on, is this nice wood. Now, speaking from experience, it is an okay spot to lay down on. It doesn't heat up all that much, but it does provide a nice warm backrest if you do so choose to lay down on it. It has these wooden rails, probably to prevent people from, breaking through this chain link fence, and to provide a little bit of a railing for anyone who might need it, because I don't know about you, but I don't find holding my hand in a chain link fence all that comfortable. Compared to, let's say, this just isn't great. So they provide that for people who might need it to walk, or might like to have it to walk. Then they have this big fence here. Now, sadly, I suspect maybe there were people who fell off here. 1 second. Right. As I was saying, I suspect there maybe were some people who fell off here. Either intentionally or unintentionally. But either way, I don't think the park would want it, or the city would want it. So it seems that they put this fence here. It has a little lip at the top, so it would be especially hard to climb over. And I honestly have to say I like it. It gives it a little bit of a closed-in feeling that's unique. But it still remains open enough to see the sky and see everything else. Now, one thing I don't like is this metal beam right here. Now, you see this, and what do you see when you try to look over the fence? Or look out over the field? You see this metal beam. Now, I don't know whose idea it was to put it there, whether this was an intentional choice or not, but I don't think it's a very good choice. I'm about an average height, for a man at least, and you could go maybe up an inch, and I guess you can see pretty well. So maybe if I was 1 inch taller, it would be okay. But you go down at all, you could go down 3 inches, and it just really isn't that great. You can't see through it very well. You have to either look up or down, and it just isn't the best. But overall, I'm still pretty happy with this clearing. Or I guess this bridge. Now, there aren't too many bugs up here or anything of the sort, although there are some. I don't believe I've ever been bit by a mosquito up here or anything like that. So I'll say I'm pretty happy with the performance of this area in that regard. There are some nice flowers down there, various kinds, some purple ones, yellow ones, and a few orange ones. Then down there are those yellow ones. And overall, it's just a nice area, a nice introduction into the not better, but more nature-focused part of this park. Because as you can tell, this area that way is a lot more oriented towards parties and gatherings. This area is a lot more focused on relaxing in nature. So I think it's about time I get headed that way. And I'll be back shortly with my review of the next park clearing. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to sit everywhere.